Reread, a lost button. How does the author use dialogue to show that Frog is a good friend to Toad? Talk about it. Reread page 144. Talk about what is happening in the story. Text evidence. Write 3 things Frog says that show he is a good friend. Okay, let's go to page 144. So, don't worry, said Frog. We will go back to all the places where we walked. We will find your button soon. They walked back to the large meadow. They began to look for the button in the tall grass. Okay, so how can we tell that Frog is a good friend? He said, don't worry. He said, we will go back. And he told Toad that they will help find the button, right? So let's put the text into the boxes. He said, don't worry, right? So that's one thing. And then he said, we will go back, right? So that shows that he wants to help Toad find the button, right? So now, what's one more thing he says? They walked back to the large meadow. Oh, we will find your button soon. So he wants to make Frog feel good, right? So he says, we will find your button soon. Let's make this smaller. We will find your button soon. Okay. So that's how we can tell that Frog is a good friend. So we can write, I know Frog is being a good friend when, and then we can write a full sentence here. When Frog says, we will go back, right? So we can tell Frog is a good friend when he says, we will go back. And we can put a period here. Okay, so now let's read this side. Tip of the week. James. When I reread, I find clues to learn about the characters. So here, James would have read these words and found that Frog is a good friend. Okay, let's go to the next page. Why do we learn about Toad when the author says Toad? What do we learn about Toad when the author says Toad shouted? Talk about it. Reread pages 148 to 149. Talk about what happens before Toad shouts. Text evidence. Write 3 clues from the text and illustration that help you know how Toad feels. When I reread, I can use these sentence starters to talk about how Toad feels. Toad feels after Toad finds the button. Okay, page 148 and 149. So we can see that Toad wailed, right, when he found a square button. We can also see that Toad shouted, right? And here we can say, on 150, we can see that he was very angry, and he jumped up and down and screamed, right? So let's write about how Toad feels. Toad wailed. Toad shouted. And Toad jumped up and down and screamed, right? So let's move this over here. Okay, so we can see that by reading these pieces in the story, we can see that Toad feels sad and angry, right? Toad feels sad and angry. So now the next line says Toad shouts because Toad feels sad and angry that he lost his button. Right? So that's why Toad shouts. Toad shouts because Toad feels sad and angry that he lost his button. These should not be uppercase, these should be lowercase. Okay, so let's go to the next page. Okay, so let's read here. How does the illustration help you understand that how Toad is a good friend? Quick tip. When I reread, I can learn how characters feel by what they say. Talk about it. Reread page 151. Talk about what Toad says. Text evidence. Write clues from the text and illustration that tell you how Toad feels about Frog. So page 151. Toad ran home and slammed the door. There on the floor he saw his white four-hole, big, round, thick button. Oh, said Toad, it was here all the time. What a lot of trouble I have made for Frog. And let's look at the picture. So you can see Toad is thinking. He doesn't look angry anymore, right? He's thinking, and maybe he feels a little sorry, right? So let's go down to our picture here, and we can say in the text, we can see from the text that Toad says he made a lot of trouble for Frog, right? So we can see that in the text because that's written down. And then for the illustration, we can say that Toad looks like he is thinking and he is sorry, right? So Toad looks like he is thinking and he is sorry. So now we can say that Toad feels sorry for making trouble, right? Toad is sorry for making trouble for Frog. So the illustration helps me know, we can say that the illustration helps me know that Toad feels sorry for causing trouble for Frog. Okay? So, your turn. In a lost button, do you think that Frog or Toad was the better friend? Why? Use these sentence starters. I think, or he was a better friend because. So we can say that I think Frog was a better friend because he walked all over the forest and the meadow with Toad looking for the button. Or you can say that I think that Toad was a better friend because Toad gave Frog his favorite coat or jacket, right? So you can think Frog was better or Toad was better. It's up to you to decide. Okay, let's go to the next page. Sort it out. Some things are alike. Some are different. We can sort things by looking at what is the same about them. We can sort them by their size, shape, and color. Find the buttons in this picture. Let's sort them. Reread and use the prompts to take notes in the text. Circle the word in the title that tells what the selection is about. Okay, so let's circle. So we know that this is about sorting, right? So the word sort helps us know that this story is about sorting. So this is done, check. Underline the sentence that tells how to sort things. So here we can see that it tells us to sort things by looking at what is the same about them, right? So that's a general way to tell how we sort things. Now for this specific story, it tells us how to sort things for this story. We can say that we should underline, we can sort them by size, shape, and color, right? Okay, so we can say now in our next part, right, 3 ways things can be sorted. So we're going to take it from this side here, right? So we can sort by size, we can sort by shape, and we can sort by color, okay? So now talk with a partner about different ways to sort the buttons. Circle the square buttons. So let's go here and circle the square buttons. There's 4. Ooh. And then there's 4 more, right? So there's the square buttons. Now let's go to the next page. How many round buttons can you see? How many square buttons can you see? What other shapes do you see? Add up the number of red buttons. Are there more red or yellow buttons? Can you find buttons with 4 holes? How else could you sort these buttons? So let's answer the first question here. How many round buttons can you see? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Or if we say these buttons are too small because there's only 1 hole, we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll put 8 for the answer to this question. Okay, now answer the second question here. How many square buttons can you see? 1, 2, 3. 3 square buttons. Okay, read the third question. Circle a button that answers that question. Okay, what other shapes do you see? We see a triangle, right? Here's another triangle. So that's the circle. Now talk with a partner about other ways you can sort things. So besides shapes and colors, we can also sort by holes. You can also sort by material, right? Wooden buttons or plastic buttons. Yeah. Okay, let's go to our next page now. Okay. Why do you think the author asks questions and sort it out? Quick tip. When I reread, I use clues to understand the author's purpose. Talk about it. Reread page 157. Talk about how the questions help you understand the information. Text evidence. Use the illustrations to answer the last 3 questions the author asks. Okay, so let's go to 157. So the author asks questions to teach us different ways that we can sort buttons, right? So instead of telling us you can sort buttons by shape, round and square, or colors, or holes, the author asks us these questions so that we can think for ourselves about ways we can sort the buttons, right? So now let's go to the first question here. Are there more red or yellow buttons? Let's go up and check. So we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red buttons. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yellow buttons. So we can say that there are more yellow buttons, right? Yellow. Can you find buttons with 4 holes? All right, let's go up and look. Can you find buttons with 4 holes? Yes, we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 buttons with 4 holes. But this question is just asking us if we can find it, not how many there are. So we can say, yes, we can find buttons with 4 holes. And how else could you sort these buttons? So let's go up one more time and look. We could also sort these buttons by size, right? Big buttons and small buttons and medium-sized buttons, okay? So we can also sort these buttons by size. Okay, the author asks questions to help us understand how to sort the buttons in the picture, right? So the author asks us questions to help us understand how to sort the buttons in the picture. Okay, good. Now let's go to our last page for today. How can you sort the animals in this poem? Quick tip. I can classify using the sentence starters, only a lion, only a bear, only the bear, or both. Talk about it. Discuss what you learned about sorting a lost button and sort it out. What is the theme about the lion and bear in the poem? So let's go up and check out the lion and the bear. Oh, too far. The lion and the bear. So the lion and the bear both have 4 legs, right? They also have 2 eyes and a nose and a mouth, right? So those are some ways that the lion and the bear are the same. So what else did we learn about sorting? We learned that you can sort by size and shape and thickness, right? There's a lot of different ways we can sort things too. Now, text evidence. Circle clues that show the lion and the bear are alike. Underline clues that show how they are different. So here's the poem we are going to read. From Wild Beasts. I will be a lion, and you shall be a bear, and each of us will have a den beneath a nursery chair. And you must growl and growl and growl, and I will roar and roar. And so here we can look, this is a poem. So what is the theme about the lion and the bear in this poem? Well, the same part is that we will circle it. They will both have a den under a nursery chair, right? Oh, let's underline that. Both have a den beneath a nursery chair because it says each of us, right? So it means they both will have it. Now it says circle the clues that show the lion and the bear are alike. Underline the clues that show they are different. Okay. So to circle the clues that show they are alike. This is how they are alike. Now we will underline what makes them different. The bear will growl and the lion will roar, right? So we can say that we will sort the lion and the bear in what way? We can say we will sort the lion and the bear by the sounds they make. The lion will roar and the bear will growl, right? So that's how we can sort the lion and the bear. Okay? All right, so that's the end of our lesson today. So now it's time for me to say bye-bye, okay? But I will see you next time, okay? Bye-bye.